Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the Lovense Max2 male stimulator for male health. That's what we're calling it. YouTube friendly, y'all. So, first things first, not a paid sponsor. I bought this with my own money like a year ago. Just thought, there's not a lot of these out there, so we do these. This guy, like I said, is about a year old, and I believe we paid $120 for it at the time, so it's probably my most expensive item I have for this. But we bought it for a purpose. We bought it because it connects to other toys and can be used long distance. So let me go over this first, and then we'll go more to that feature. First of all, this is a very heavy toy. This is heavier than the Amazon Auto stimulator that we reviewed a week ago. It's probably 2-3 pounds. This thing's got some heft to it. It is a solid build. You can see it's pretty generic looking. There's not a name or anything on it, but anybody that knows what they're looking at knows what they're looking at. So the power goes right here, and it's the standard magnet connecting, so this unit can be somewhat waterproof for cleaning. However, this doesn't fit. These are spaced differently than a lot of the other toys that we've checked, like from Amazon. They don't fit, so it still has its own charger that's shaped. I tried to use a different one. They just do not connect right. They don't align. But I do know that these work with every other Lovense product out there. And I know that because we have a few of them. A good 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many. We have a few of them. So these are all universal across the same brand. However, they are proprietary to Lovense. You can also see right here, this unit's got a drain. This is to help after you've cleaned out the interior of this, if you need to help get some water out, or also for air suction. Once again, for the actual uses of this, if you are using the standard motion, this can help adjust that pressure in there to allow for better suction or whatnot, or looser. So it's also got a couple other things here. I've not messed with these. I do not know what they do. I apologize. They might be listed in the instruction book, which I, as a standard man, threw away promptly. I do not think, this one doesn't come off, but it is a button, I can tell. So I'm guessing it's like some sort of water reset. And this one feels like it can open up. I'm guessing it might be some sort of port to connect to manually in case the Bluetooth doesn't work. That is needed because this thing has firmware. Actually, right before this view, I connected it. Before this review, I connected it, and it needed a firmware update. So this does have firmware, and we'll dive into that in a second too. You've got 2 buttons. This is the power button. Turns it on. You have to hold it for a few seconds. Gives you some good vibration. You can hear all the different power settings. And then this guy is more of, I believe, internal movement, and we'll get to that in a second. So you've got a combination of a few different things. I believe it's actually suction. So let's take off the cap. You can see it's just a standard cap. This is kind of dirty because I haven't used it. I'll clean it before demonstration, which will not be this video. It comes with your standard, I don't know if this is silicone or what, but your standard material that's within all of these. You can see it goes in a right way because it's got a notch here. It's fairly decently depth-wise, and then this actually goes a little bit deeper. It's kind of dirty in there too, but it goes a little bit deeper to give you that suction that it offers automatically. It looks pretty tight, but you can see it should be able to fit all sizes unless you're, I guess, well, at that point, unlucky is what I would call it if you can't get this around you. But maybe you're lucky. But it does fit. You can see it's ribbed. It's easy to clean. It's like any other your cleaning type when it comes to cleaning it. You rinse it, you can turn it out inside out, stuff like that. So slides back in. You can see there's a way for it to slide back in. And that's all that's to this. Now you can use this as I've just shown with just the buttons. But the real draw, and the reason why these cost so much, is that firmware that I mentioned and the ability to connect to an app. So with that app, you also get a lot of other capabilities. So I'm going to actually show you my phone here, because we're going to quickly go over the Lovense app. So the app is like this. You've got basically your pattern, so you can control and actually either download or create your own vibration patterns within this app, and then let it autoplay. So if you don't want it to constantly just do its own or do its thing, or your hand do a thing, you can place it on your specified area and program something in and give it an autoplay of, I've done 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You can do as short as 45 seconds. You can loop. It's pretty easy to create. But you can create your own patterns, and once it's connected, you can hear maybe it's turned on and it's running the thing. So I've just got a pattern. You can pull this guy over, and there you go. So, and that's kind of, you can see that, and you can even pick the speed of the pattern. And it says it's set to public. I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll figure that later. So we're going to stop this. There's a lot of other things in this app as well, and we'll briefly cover them because a lot of the features are new. I haven't got the chance to use them. I'm not going to use probably half of them. But you can do music. It sounds like if you've got a Spotify connection, you can pick music and it'll match kind of the rhythm or the beat of the music that you're playing. This control link, that's something that's popped up that's new. Looks like you can control and chat anonymously with others. You've got long distance down here. I'm not going to click on that because it has a connection that I don't want to show you. It's to my wife. I just don't want you to see her username. But that's why we bought this, and I'm going to dive into that. If somebody else has another Lovense system or something like the Nora, which we have right here, this is not for me. I'm not reviewing this. But if somebody has something like this and you have a connection within the app, they interact. And what that means is you guys connect, you grant permission, and then as your partner on the other end uses this, or I imagine it will work with another Max if you're using two Maxes, or I believe it also goes with, there's a couple other toys. So it doesn't have to be specifically the Nora. We use it with the Nora and the Max2. But as your partner interacts with the alternative toy like this or the Max, it reciprocates on the other end. So if I'm using the Max2 and I become more vigorous in my usage, my partner who's connected through the phone, and this can be long distance. We've done this from Ohio to where we're at, West Coast, and it works just fine. There's a slight delay, but it's slight enough that your partner doesn't notice and you don't notice, and it works. And you can do this while voice chatting within the long distance. So you can basically be having phone relations with whomever, your partner, or it doesn't have to be your partner. It could be whoever you're connected with, as well as interacting with the toys together and simulating that intimacy that you get normally when you're together a little more apart. It's not perfect, but it does the job. So that is the reason we bought that, is because of travel. So it does interact with these, and that is the reason why there's a big draw. There are a few other things we'll kind of briefly discuss or whatever. You can do Discover, and under that you can now do voice controls. Control roulette, which I'm guessing it just kind of puts control out there for somebody else. I don't know. Based off of sound, I quickly open this, and it's based on the decibels that are around it. So the louder things get, the more it vibrates. Didn't do speed mode. Game mode, it connects to certain games now. Once again, don't know how. An alarm for men, I don't see how this would work with the Max2, just because of the way it works, but you can set an alarm to wake you up with it. And then interactive video. Now, interactive video actually takes you to a separate app that it makes you download, and I downloaded it. And from there, it connects to adult sites. And you seem to have a subscription or a log on to those sites, but they now offer interactive videos that try to match what's going on in the video with the toy as well. So something to keep in mind, if you have those subscriptions, and I would have loved to go further in this. I don't pay for those because no shame in it. I just try to save money. That's really it. But if you have a subscription, by all means, you can do that. And I'm actually very curious in it. So if anybody watching this does or has had experience with that, reach out in the comments or something. Kind of curious how well it works. But yeah, I'm not right now. Maybe someday. With that, that's kind of the gist of it for the most part. It is a heavy duty toy. I don't use it often, just because I don't use all my toys that often actually, but it is a good toy to use. It's good to clean, it's durable, it's heavy duty. It's got a lot of interactive abilities. You don't just have to use it with manually. It's good for those, reaching out and meeting people anonymously and that type of experience, as well as working with people you do know that you're intimate with. So it can be used either way, and it can also be used also with the videos, which is a good thing. Once again, even though I can't demo it. So there's a lot of variety with this toy. It's not just your imagination and whatever's on the DVD player or on the internet. You've got a lot of options when it comes to it, and I should be picking it up and holding it so you're not just staring at my hands. These are toys too, I guess. No, these are stimulators as well. But overall, it is a very good quality toy. The battery life on it, I can't tell you how long it lasts. I've used it for upwards of 45 minutes without running out in the past, so it should be fine there. If you're going longer than that, well, once again, I've used it up to that without any problems, so it probably will last quite a while. I would say it is probably the best male stimulator, that's what we're calling them, or toy, we'll say toy, that I have in quality. I would say it was worth the price if you're using it a lot. We don't use it a lot, so it was kind of a punch in the gut that maybe I should use more, but we just don't. Also, because of the idea, though, I do want to warn this, and I will actually bring it up now. I have tried to travel with this thing because that's what we bought it for. I've had to travel. We were going to use it with my partner who wasn't traveling. It's going to get checked in the airport. I had my bag searched. I had a security guard pull me over and basically ask what they were looking at. And I had to be frank with them and say, hey, it's a sex toy. So you might get lucky and get through, but I think it's because of the material, that rubbery whatever material that's used. I think that flags in the x-ray machines. I've traveled with it twice. I did it once as a carry-on, and that's where I had to tell the person what it was. And I have put it on a carry-on once, or not a carry-on, a checked, on the way home actually from the same check or thing, just to see if I could avoid that experience. And I had the little slip in my bag saying it had been searched. So it flags either way, and that does take away a little bit of the whole travel aspect with this, because you're gonna have to deal with that if you're flying anyways. If you're driving somewhere, or if you just happen to be in a long distance relationship, it'll work for that. But heads up, this stuff doesn't get through security without somebody taking notice. So with that in mind, I would say overall, this is a 9 out of 10. I do recommend, if you're gonna spend some real money on a toy or a stimulator, more than 30 bucks, like the Amazon one, you want something that's with your partner, this is a solid toy to go with, especially if you're only gonna buy one. So 9 out of 10 overall, would recommend. I should use it more now that I talk about it. I don't, but give it a try. If you're interested in seeing this in action, I do have a link tree, check that out. I know that's not the purpose of these videos for you watching on YouTube, but there might be a clientele or market, not a clientele, there might be some interest in that. So if that's what you're here for, you can also see it in action. That can't be on YouTube though, so check that out. And if you are here or you found this useful but you're not interested in that, that's cool too. That's why it's on YouTube, is because I actually want this to be useful. Give it a like. If you're curious on what's coming up or want to see other reviews, comment on what you'd like to see. If I can afford it, we'll buy it. And of course, if you want to continue just to see reviews Go ahead and subscribe, but I guess me personally, I look for a specific review of an item, so I'm not expecting a lot of subscribers. But if you do, cool. Anyways, with that, enjoy yourselves and happy playing. We'll go with that.